Okay, so we're working. I have been I have not done any videos. I was just online and then something made me angry. And then the funny thing about that is that when you get a little bit angry, it actually gives you a little bit of energy to do something. So I wanted to make a video. I have made a thumbnail for this video like weeks ago, and then I couldn't be bothered to shoot it because I was busy sharing things, and then just basically distracted. And then, when I was done with all the sharing, I kind of just wanted to watch a movie. So, so that has been what I've been up to. But this video is about gaslighting because this is a term that comes up a lot in conversation these days. And I'm really sick of the word. Um, not, I mean, I want to be fair here because I don't think that the word comes up half as much as is warranted for how much gaslighting is actually going on. Like, if we basically the news media is kind of gaslighting 24/7. And one of the reasons I was always a little bit worried about the lockdowns is the effect on mental health of people being subjected to the 24-hour news cycle with no other distraction, no ability to have a conversation outside of that that can kind of deprogram you a bit from the narrative. Whereas I felt like what was happening during lockdowns was very similar to what cults do to brainwash you, which is basically they just subject you to a narrative over and over and over again, and and you're exhausted. Now, technically, a cult would do it a lot more rigorously, even than what is going on in a lockdown. But if you're isolated and you're listening to the same shit all the time, then you're very susceptible to certain narratives. Especially, I think people in lockdown suffered from a lot of sleep loss as well, and not to mention like no exercise and everything. So unless they managed to do the home gym routine, anyway, this is about gaslighting. So yeah, the news does a lot of gaslighting. But the thing that annoys me about the term is that I find it's misused a lot. Like every time someone says something a little bit their opinion, or if it's an opinion, well, I find what I see online a lot is people immediately trot out the word gaslighting whenever they're in a conversation and they don't agree with the other person, then they just accuse them of gaslighting, which I would say is an ad hominem attack. I mean, at that point, like, I don't think you're arguing on the merits anymore. You're just um, gaslighting by saying gaslighting. Uh, I mean, one of the things my dad always told me about discussing things with people is never tell people what their position is, which was good advice. I mean, because it's very easy to assume what someone's position is based on your sort of preconceived rebellion about, like, often when you go into a discussion and you have a certain political position, you're actually pretty ready to fight already, and you're kind of looking for the other side. So when someone says something that isn't quite what you want it to be, or it isn't what you expect the narrative should be, then you're very quickly pushing them into the camp that you already have decided is unacceptable. Um, anyway, so yes, there are several words that I find are misused like this. One is gaslighting, another is trauma, um, PTSD. Like people, I was watching Dr. Curry on when I watched the Johnny Depp trial, and she said that PTSD is the most commonly feigned disorder in litigation, which was interesting. And so she was saying that they have to test for that. They have a higher bar when they test for PTSD than for other things. It's quite a kind of stringent process because of the fact that a lot of people try to misuse the term when they're in litigation. Um, And then there's the word narcissist, which, I mean, like, there are so many personality disorders, and it seems like these days people are very quick to diagnose their friends as narcissists, which is not helped by the behavior panel because they say that it's actually very prevalent. Um, so, yeah, I mean, they could be, but typically, in order to figure out if someone is a narcissist or not, they kind of have to be interviewed by a specialist. So I think it's irresponsible of people to go around kind of suspecting their friends of it. And I mean, look, this is a thing that is not new to this decade or this century. Like every century has terms that are popular and have to do also with the paranoia of the time, whatever is kind of the most prevalent concern that people have about the society and each other. It produces a lot of terms that people talk about a lot as something that is very serious that we have to be concerned about. And these days it is gaslighting and narcissism. And this is also a symptom of the fact that we are an Instagram, TikTok culture, and which seems to facilitate a certain amount of narcissism and gaslighting. Um, it does. I mean, like the media provides a whole kind of scope for very creative people to also be able to create an environment, which is really what gaslighting is. It's not just about saying something, it's about creating a whole experience, which is deceptive. And so, yeah, there's a lot more scope for that with our social media and the media in general, because you can create this sort of virtual reality for people online, which they can experience. And if they're, for instance, in lockdown, it can feel very real. Um, all right. I guess that's it. That's all I really wanted to say about gaslighting. I really just shot this video so I could use the thumbnail because it was sitting there, and I thought, oh God, if I don't do this video soon, I'm gonna forget where on my phone I put the thumbnail, and then that's gonna be annoying because that'll be like one more thing that goes into my subconscious that I planned to do and didn't do. So I am going to put this up, and love you all. Oh yeah, so basically my advice is, if you're in general with terminology, think about what the words mean. Like as someone who has a kind of holds language in a high regard, um, I kind of object to the trend that whenever a term is trendy, that it just gets used for automatic validation, for automatic validity, like in order to sound like something is really serious, then they use the term gaslighting or narcissist because it sounds intelligent and also it sounds really serious and concerning. And so, in the tradition of Carl from over at the Debate Me channel, I'm kind of encouraging people to really analyze what they're saying and what they're hearing as well before they jump to any conclusions about it. And this was also something my friend Nathan Suko said. So, anyway, shout out to you guys. And I'll leave this there. Lots of love to you all. Okay, bye.